everybody. My name is Wayman Daniels, the host of Level Up. We got a fantastic show and a fantastic guest. My business mentor and my friend, the founder, CEO of Circle of Champions University, Mr. Bob Yates. Welcome, Bob Yates, to Level Up. Hey, Bob.
Wayman Daniels, man. Look, I'm going to tell you, man, you forcing me to level up today. see, you forcing me, bro.
That's what it's about.
I love the fact that you have created level up gear.
Yes.
Dude, and I love that orange color is popping, man. And see, for all of you that are watching, that's what leveling up is. And so he just forced me to level up. Well, all right, so let me straighten this out though. There we go.
Hey, Bob, you know what's so beautiful about this? I was listening to you a couple of weeks ago, last week, as a matter of fact, and one of the Circle of Champions participants said something that caught my interest, and they said, if you're as a matter of fact, it was Anetta. Anetta says, if you're the smartest person in the room, maybe you need to change the room.
Hello, you're the smartest person in your group. You need a new group.
You need a whole new group, because what she said was that I need someone to push me. And that's so true. Since I joined the Circle of Champions has pushed me to do Level Up logo.
Look, I'm telling you something, man.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on the podcast, on having the courage to go out here and launch it. And I've seen the progression in the last 3-4 months. It's like, okay, he's serious. Like some people dabble in business. They dabble in something. They're not really serious. They're not willing to put money into it. They're not willing to. But the moment that I started taking Circle of Champions serious and I started creating gear and other stuff, it's like it got inside of me.
Right.
So I just love this, man. I'm gonna have to buy some gear, man. Let me know let me know where I can get my Level Up gear.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to put all that information on the end because it's out there, everybody. Level Up gear and Circle of Champions merchandise is out there. And Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. But, Bob, let's talk about you, Bob Yates. Tell us about Bob Yates from Baltimore or Washington, D.C. area. Tell us about you and how you got started.
Well, first of all, I'm a born-again believer, lover of God, just like you.
Yes.
I am a father. I'm married 29 years to this beautiful island woman that God gave me. He imported my wife 1,588 miles from the Virgin Islands, brought her to my church. That's where I met my wife. We'll be married 30 years in February.
Wow.
I got 2 beautiful kids, Shayla and John Yates. Do you have teenagers, my friend?
I do, Bob. You know what? Since you did that, and we were talking earlier, will I feed off the questions? Are we going to have dialogue, or are we just going to keep it rigid? And when you said something about Shayla, can you tell our viewers how you encourage her to become an entrepreneur and make postcards at a very early age? Because I remember you showing us that.
Oh, see, the thing about it, you never know who's watching. So first of all, this for everybody, you never know who's watching and who you're going to inspire. So my daughter has not seen daddy go to work before. She doesn't. I have never worked a 9-to-5 job. I've been blessed all my life to be an entrepreneur. And if I'm dreaming, don't wake me up. So so she one day, I came home and she had her little dolls all lined up in the corner and she was giving them a seminar.
Yes.
Because she saw daddy doing seminars. And then she saw that daddy was creating products. So she started creating products. And man, if I had known you were going to throw that curve at me, I would have had it right here, right? But anyway, I inspired the entrepreneurial spirit. She was 8, 9.
8 or 9.
And it just shows that, some things are better caught than taught. I didn't have to teach her. She caught it. And she said, you know what, I'm going to follow that. And so she started making these inspirational quotes for my seminars and so forth. I would go and sell them. She didn't have to do the work. I did the work for her. I went out and sold her things for her. And she's got the entrepreneurial spirit. So mine started like at about 8 years old.
Right.
See? And I think there's a lot of people that might be even listening today, very early in their life, they had that entrepreneurial drive. It was there. But then what happens? Sometimes people come and kind of try to stomp that out of you. It's like, no, get a real job. Go to school, get an education, get a real job. That's the path to success. And then go to college. Well, I never went to college. I'm not saying whether you should go to college or not. I'm saying that wasn't the path for me.
Right.
And I can tell you right now, there's no one path right for everybody. God's path is the right path.
Right, right. Hey, yeah. Bob, so let me ask you a question, because when your daughter made the postcards, she put a symbol on that postcard. And what was, I think it was a $sign.
Oh yeah, you know. So let me just tell you. Okay, so yeah, we're totally off script. Let's go. Okay, so she wrote her first book.
Yes.
And it was she did it on construction paper, and it was called How to Speak in Public. I wonder where she got that idea.
Yeah.
In public. I think it's because she was watching it and seeing it. Daddy, where you going? I'm going to do a seminar. You mean you're talking to real people? Yeah, I'm talking to real people. Right. Daddy, you're not scared? Oh no, baby, I get energized by this. This is what I love to do. I love talking to people so much that if people didn't pay me to talk, I pay them to listen. Right. That's how much I love it. So anyway, she saw that, and she created her first book called How to Speak in Public. And I actually took it to one of my seminars, and I would read pages from it, and people wanted to buy the book.
Right.
Not because it was my daughter, it's because she had good content in there. She was talking about stuff like, first of all, tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Where did she get that kind of stuff from?
Right.
She told them that you need to be nice when people come up to you as a speaker. You know, I don't have an entourage. I don't need an entourage. The people that come to hear us speak, Wayman, they are the people that make us successful. I want to thank all those that are watching this broadcast right now, those that are tuned in and watch the replay. Look, we do this for you all. So you know, so that was like a learning experience for me to see my daughter, you know, take that initiative to do something based on something I saw. But here was the lesson for me.
Right.
Watch what you do, Bob.
That's right.
You don't know who's watching. Yeah.
Hey, Bob, I'm totally off script, guys. We got a script.
Yeah.
It's subject to change. And we're talking about your daughter. We're talking about your family. And I when we talk to a lot of people, we say that we're proud of our children, but it's a beautiful thing for our children to be proud of us as parents. And that sounds like your daughter is so proud of her dad that she wants to replicate what her father is doing.
Well, you know what? Here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Now, this is not, you know, when they get to be teenagers,
yeah,
sometimes they won't tell you that.
Right.
They still want it.
Right.
But they kind of want to be independent now, too.
Yes.
So, you know, and so, but see, I secretly know my son and daughter.
Yes.
She's like, Dad, do I have to go to college?
Right.
Do I have to do this?
Right.
You didn't go. Right. And see, what I told her, you don't have to go if you're willing to do what I did. If you're willing to work like I worked.
To work, right.
See, because the whole thing is not about college or not. You take your habits with you wherever you go.
Right.
So if you're an entrepreneur and you go all in, and I want to say this to your listening audience right now, there's never been a better time than now to go all in on you.
Right.
I'm talking all in on you. Like you're going all in on Level Up. Everybody that's listening, you got to go all in on you right now, because if you don't go all in on you, nobody else will.
Right.
And so, you know, that's the way I look at it with my daughter. You know, she's proud of me. She wants to be this. And at the same time, I'm not forcing it on her.
Right.
I'm creating the hunger for
the hunger.
So she'll say, Dad, okay, what's my position in the business? That's what's going to happen.
Hey, so Bob, let's go back, because we were talking before, and you said the best thing that you could have done was to become an entrepreneur, because it brings out who you really are. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So first of all, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is one of the best personal development programs on the planet. It's a program in itself.
Right.
Other than being a parent, that's a pretty good personal development program too. Right. But entrepreneurship is really not just about building a business. Right. When God gives you a vision, like he did for me for Circle of Champions, the vision changed me. It called on the best in me. I became a visionary. I wasn't always this way.
Right.
And for those, you know, that don't know me, and for those that do, I've been able to do something that very few people do. And this is what I want to help other people to do.
Yes.
Most people think I need something that I don't have to be successful. This person that's doing it over here is because they had this advantage, or they had this mentor, they had this. No, everything that we need to be successful is inside of us. And when God casts a vision in front of us, that vision is going to make you and turn you into another man, another woman, if you pursue it. I lost the fear of man while I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I lost the fear of what other people think. I built my confidence. It's like every step I took towards building Circle of Champions made it more real.
Right.
And it did something inside of me that, looking back now, 20 years, the average business lasts about 5 years.
5 years, right.
They just don't last.
Right.
Because success was at year 6 and they quit at year 5.
5.
And that's what people don't know about entrepreneurship.
Right.
It's going to test you.
Right. Right.
And you want it.
Right.
You can't be in business. The business has to be in you.
That's right.
Okay, so when you start off, the word entrepreneur, I looked it up many years ago, and there's a facet of that word that has to do with when you initially go out into business, you are pursuing it, and then it takes over you. That happens to every successful entrepreneur.
That's right.
You become obsessed with it. It takes over, and sometimes to a fault, because I'm a family man, and for a period of my life, the business just consumed everything. And then my wife got involved in the business, became the COO of the business. Then things began to work again.
Right.
So that's the nature of entrepreneurship. And yeah, you said, does it change you? It absolutely does. But here's the key. Especially if it's a God-inspired dream or vision.
Right. So let's talk about this, Bob, because now we jumped right in the pond.
We did.
But we got to get out the pond, because sometimes people will say that, okay, he grew up, he was privileged, he had this, he already had, like we said, already had his ducks lined up. So let's talk about when you were growing up and you were a vendor. And how you becoming a vendor, working for self at a very, very early age, but learn business principles. Tell the people about that, and then tell them about your computer business, how you evolved to get to the place that you're at now.
Yeah. So first of all, don't get it twisted at all. I grew up in a very average family. I mean, we had roaches going from one house to the other. I lived in row houses. So I know what mice look like. Right. So I didn't grow up with any unique advantages at all. And, I did a little bit of stuff in my early years when I was a little, very young, that was not really legit. And my talents were just being misguided. And one of my brothers had a vendor's business. He was a vendor, and he vended on Capitol Hill. I don't know if you see that as much as you used to, but vending, you have your little stands on the street, and you are selling your hats, your gloves, your scarves, your stuff in the winter like that. In the summer, you're selling shades and incense and other stuff, right? And so that's kind of how I got my start. And I did that for many years. And it was one day that it was freezing out there, freezing, about 8 degrees. And a wind came and picked my stand up and took it down Vendors Mall. And I said, there's got to be a better way than this. But here's what I learned. I learned about wholesaling. I learned about you buy things. See, there's several ways to make it in business. One is you buy or create something. And you can buy something wholesale, sell something retail. I did that for a long time. The thing I love more than anything else is creating something like what you've done, like what I've done. You can buy something and sell it. But man, there's some creators out there listening to us right now, and that's where the juice is. I started a computer company, and here's why I started that computer company. I left that thing after my stand got picked up and thrown down in Vendors Mall. I said, there got to be another way. And this is when the technology age was just booming, before this thing called the internet. And Google. Oh, I started way before. I built my computer company when the internet was just being born. And I started it from scratch in a bad neighborhood in my basement. And the reason why I started it is because I was getting left behind in technology. I was not tech savvy. I felt like, man, everybody's using computers, but I don't know what to do with this, and I cannot get left behind. So I got involved with it. See, there's a saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. So when I got involved with computers, I went all in. I never planned to start a computer company. I just got obsessed. And my brother had gone to computer school, and I talked to him. I said, let's do something here. So anyway, we started a computer business from scratch in my basement in a bad neighborhood. First year I did $55,000, which is not a huge amount of money, but that's not bad.
It's not bad.
Then when I started, Wave, Packard, Bell, Dell, Compaq, all these big companies out there. The thought was, who's going to buy a computer from me? You know what I learned from that? See, this is entrepreneurial secret. This is entrepreneurial talk that only a few people might be able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
When God gives you a dream, a vision, he has already earmarked an audience for you
Yes.
that will buy
Right.
your stuff. They will overlook your ugly business card, your stupid letterhead. They will overlook a lot of stuff that just is not all polished.
Right.
They came into my bad neighborhood, bought computers from me. That computer business went to government, went to schools, went to banks, and it just took off. And I did it for 7 years.
Yes.
And the only reason I left that was because of a ministry calling. God called me to the ministry, and I went into the ministry, and my computer company ended up serving that ministry and so forth.
Okay.
Then came the mission.
Right.
Wait a minute. I'm teaching in church. I'm teaching entrepreneurship. As a
Right.
matter of fact, I was teaching entrepreneurship in church because let me just say this. A lot of churches preach prosperity, but they don't teach prosperity.
They don't teach it. Correct.
It has to be taught. And the power to get wealth is not just in giving offerings and sowing and giving tithes. The power to get wealth is in your gifts, talents, abilities, your knowledge, your intellectual property, your inventions. That's where the wealth is.
Right.
So my assignment, when I found that, it's like, okay, this is it.
Right.
This is my life mission right here. Circle of Champions. I'm going to build this. I'm going to do this until and unless God ever says do anything else.
Right.
So yeah, so that's how I kind of started the computer company. It was out of actually fear of being left behind and seeing a need out there to provide this service and to help other people become computer illiterate.
Right. So Bob, you know what? I heard this is the first time I heard you started your business in the computer in the basement.
Yeah,
right.
That was in another basement in my
first house. Exactly. So I'm saying, wait a minute, what's up with you in these basements? Because you started Circle of Champions in the basement. Tell them about that.
Can I tell you where the empires of today are formed? They're starting in basements, garages, and kitchen tables. And now since COVID, the businesses are starting in a bedroom.
Yes.
Right? So you're right. You know what? I never really thought about that. I started 2 major businesses from my basement. My first business built this new house that I'm in.
Right.
And me and my wife, when we built this house, we didn't have any kids, 5 bedrooms, and just us, we can run around the house. But this was an unfinished basement. One day I'm looking out my deck, looking out my window in my kitchen, and I'm thinking about putting a deck on the back of my home.
Yes.
And the Spirit of God spoke to me. Don't put the deck on your home. I want you to take this unfinished space in your basement and turn it into a training place.
Right.
Now, for those of you that are looking, you really can't see it, but this is a big room. And I got banners, and I put this thing together and then started inviting people. And I was scared after I put the money into it, to be honest. Like, is anybody going to want to come to a home-based seminar?
Right.
I had all my doubts, but long story short, you just pointed out to me something that I really never thought about on my story, is that both of them, even my jewelry business, which I didn't even tell you about, 14-karat jewelry, watches, and all of that. My dad and I built that in our basement. This was in my first home when I still lived. So, I mean, I got a basement anointing, man. Everywhere I go, I got to have a basement, man. There's something about that.
Right.
And I can tell you this, for those of you that think, okay, well, that's all cool. I'm telling you, the first year, I made 6 figures in this basement. And ever since then, never made less from my basement. And think about that. That's the 30-second commute.
Right.
I get to come from upstairs. The traffic is my children on the way down.
That's right.
Come down to the basement.
Right.
I still do seminars here. Right. And long story short, I'm not going to be too long on this, but when COVID came, I had been out of my basement for years because it couldn't contain it anymore. I'm doing seminars in hotels and national and international and so forth. And then COVID came and I had to come back to my roots.
Wow. Hey, Bob, you know what? I'm hearing so many things in my mind where the vision, the people perish because they don't have a vision, right? But I'm also hearing God say, I want to take you over to Canaan, to the promised land. But on the way there, you got to go through some stuff, but believe what I said, I'm going to take you there. And in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to believe in God, but believe in yourself that you can do it. You have to see it.
Yeah.
And so what I want you to talk about now, because time is winding up. I know you got a busy schedule. So talk to the people about Circle of Champions and how they can get in contact with you. And furthermore, to be a part of Circle of Champions.
Well, first, it's when I first formed Circle of Champions,
Mm-hmm.
it was I did seminars and trainings, but then we turned it into a membership-based
Mm-hmm.
organization. And the reason I did that, it wasn't even a financial move. I saw that people were doing okay on their own when they came to seminars. They get inspired, they want to go
Mm-hmm.
out and they implement, but they wouldn't.
Right.
They wouldn't. See, outside of sometimes we all need a support base
Right.
of people that are doing what it is we want to do, where we
Mm-hmm.
can stay inspired. And you make C's and D's, but you could be making B's and A's if you had
Right.
somebody that you were accountable to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we created, was an entrepreneurs network. And the greatest thing we did recently was form COC University. So you
Mm-hmm.
can find out a lot by going to cocuniversity.com. And
Mm-hmm.
when you get there, it's a membership site, but we have a lot of freebies there. So I would love
Yes.
for you to check out some of the free videos. If you click on the Join University tab,
Mm-hmm.
got a bunch of free videos there for you. If you go to some of the other tabs, you'll see some of the events that we have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We have some free events coming up.
Right.
And so COC University, we're kind of moving everything to run through that. But then circleofchampions.com
Uh-huh.
is, look, this is one of the ways, Wayman, that we had to show everybody we the original.com. If
Yeah.
you didn't get the .com, we've
Mm-hmm.
had people name their stuff Circle of Champions after that, but it was too
Right.
late.
Right.
God
Right.
has the .com for us. So circleofchampions.com, that'll
Right.
let you know what events we have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And our membership programs and things like that are there. So
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of look us up there. And did I answer your question though? Because you asked me to tell them how I could get in touch, how they can get in touch, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the reason why it works is because anything great takes time. And so what we do is we have 6-month programs, 1-year
Mm-hmm.
programs, 2-year programs, and
Yeah.
5-year programs. And it
Mm-hmm.
depends on what you need. Are you trying to build a traditional business? Are you trying to build
Mm-hmm.
a speaking business? Are you trying
Mm-hmm.
to build a nonprofit? What is it that you're up to? And that we can determine what you're going to need.
Right.
Oh, I got my phone ringing. That determine what you need based on,
Right.
what your vision is.
Mm-hmm. So, Bob, when you talk about the Circle of Champions, can they also go on YouTube to see your videos?
Yeah, you know what? Now, here's the thing about CLC University. We have
Mm-hmm.
about 140 lessons, 140 pieces of content in CLC
Mm-hmm.
University. Over on YouTube, we have maybe 50 or so. But
Okay.
yeah, you can type in Bob Yates, go to Bob Yates Circle of Champions, put in
Mm-hmm.
Bob Yates Circle of Champions over on YouTube, and
Okay.
you can get videos there. And but I would say for those of you that might be interested, try out CLC University for $19.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead
Yeah.
and steal my content. Go ahead and just get some free stuff. There's some free stuff there, but you can try it out and you
Mm-hmm.
can cancel it anytime. So if you click on the Try COC
Mm-hmm.
University,
Right.
it'll give you a special that gives you access to it so you can see what's in there. Well, I'm gonna tell you, when you go in there, it'll blow your mind. There's so much
Well,
content, and then so much content waiting to go
yeah.
in there.
Well, you know what, Bob? I never forget. It took me a year, guys. I kept going back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And one thing that you said is that when you're doing what you do and you love what you do, you don't have to pursue nobody. They'll pursue you. And I came to you probably maybe 3 months ago.
It may be at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
sometime in that first couple of months of the year, we had our
Yeah.
first conversation.
And now now I'm a part of Circle of Champions.
Oh, you're not just a part. He's a platinum member in the private circle club.
Yes.
So being modest. You know what I love about you? You are a gentle giant, dude. You are a man of stature, very humble, very likable. And now he's in the private circle club. And the teacher inspired the student today. I'll be honest with you all. I never wear my white gear on camera. I wear my black gear on camera. But I didn't have time to go find my black gear because I came on camera thinking he's going to have on a nice stretch shirt and he's got on his gear. The student has inspired the teacher, the coach.
I truly thank God for Mr. Bob Yates. He's a great friend, guys. He's not only my business mentor, but I consider him a friend. And I'm looking at the comments, and I got a friend on here named Mark Moyer. He says, I like him. He's real. And
Well,
that's the key. People are saying that they love it, and what you're saying, that's right. And that's beautiful, Bob, because you're putting out the information, but you're putting it out in such a way that it's coming from a sincere heart and sincere spirit. And when it's God-given, can't help but love it.
Let me tell you this, man. You know what? I tell people this. I'm too
Yeah.
old to front, man. I don't have
Right.
time to do that. I only know how to be me. I've been doing that all my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like the easiest thing to do
Right.
is to do you. And so, I appreciate that compliment. I'm very comfortable talking about the
Mhm.
things that I love and the people,
Right.
and I love people, man. I
Yes.
care. It's
Right.
like my whole thing that gets me up in the morning is that I know that people have something inside of them that needs to
Yes.
be unlocked. And I feel like
Yes.
if I unlock one person's vision today,
Right.
if I unlock
Right.
one person's dream today, I'm like a needle. Sometimes people need a needle. You need to poke them a little bit and get them
Right.
going. So
Right.
whatever it takes, man,
Right.
that's my call and that's what I do.
Oh,
And if you give me a moment, I want to share something real
go ahead, Bob.
quickly
You're fine.
with your audience, man.
Mhm.
There comes a time in your life when
Mhm.
the most important thing is understanding, why am I here?
Mhm.
Why am I still living and breathing on planet Earth? There's a lot of
Yeah.
people that are not with us anymore. That became the most important thing to me
Mhm.
more than 35, 40 years ago now. I just dated myself. I'm very young, man. I am young. I got so much left in the tank. It's like I
Right.
can run my kids. And
Right.
so, and that's because of that energy. But
Right.
what I want to say is that this thing needs to become important to you. Like, you can do a lot of things in your life,
Mhm.
but when you find your calling, when you find your
Yes.
purpose, when you find the thing
Mhm.
you were born to do, every cell in your body knows that you're doing it. You come alive. People and circumstances begin to be attracted to you. You don't have to
Mhm.
go looking for them. I never
Right.
went and tried to find a member yet or somebody to support me yet
Right.
in
Right.
Circle of Champions. Never.
Right.
You set yourself on fire with a vision, or God does, and people come and watch you burn.
That's
And
right.
so, I mean, that's just the way it works. And so, I would say for anybody, pursue that. And if you
Mhm.
need support around finding that thing,
Mhm.
it's not too often I say things like that. I'm good at that.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
really good at that. I can
Right.
help people find their thing because I know what it took for me to find mine.
Right.
And I have helped so many other people to find theirs. And I'm going to tell you, life is almost, it takes on another whole dimension
Mhm.
when you walk in that.
Right.
So
Right.
I hope that I inspire one person today that, says, you know what? Okay, I'm going to find my thing now. Wayman's doing his, he's got his
Yeah.
gig. I'm not letting Wayman leave me behind. I'm not letting, So
Right.
what's the name of the broadcast, everybody? Level up.
Level up.
Level up.
Level up. Someone
Level.
asked me, say, hey, Wayman, how you come up with that name? I said, the Lord told me to get up and level up. And I've been leveling up ever since.
Well, you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
it's seriously champions. Oh,
Yeah.
and I got a little fuzzy there. Let me fix
Yeah,
that.
you did.
My camera doesn't always autofocus like it's supposed to because I get on fire and then I
There
gotta.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did I get ready to say? Tell me what I was getting ready to say. We're going to
Circle
talk
of
about
Champions.
leveling up. Leveling up.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. There's. I love the name,
Mm-hmm.
but when I saw that you had taken steps, your
Yeah.
backdrop, your logo, and the things
Yes.
that you're doing in different colors,
Yes.
I
Yes.
said, okay, this dude is trying to put the pressure on some of our other members. And
Yeah.
that's you, dude. You're
Right.
doing
Right.
it, man. You're
Right.
doing it.
Right.
And you even inspired me.
Yes.
So next time I'll be in my black Circle of Champions
Yes.
attire, and let's just continue to blow this thing up. I see this thing going international. I see this thing going
Yes.
huge. I see
Yes.
God just putting you on big stages. And bro,
Yes.
this is a big stage, even right now.
Yes. Yes. And you know what, Bob? I appreciate that. I can go on because some people, when you grow up, you don't have that push. Well, like you said, when you get to the place where you understand who you are, you can
Yeah,
walk in that. And
yeah,
always saying on Level Up and with Circle of Champions, you got to believe in yourself and believe in your dreams that you can accomplish them. But sometimes, and most times, you need a mentor to show you how to get to the other side.
that's
Circle
true.
of Champions is a great program, guys. I'm pushing this program because I believe in it. Not only do I believe in it, I am a member.
Yeah.
This
And
guru
look,
here by the name of Bob Yates is no joke, guys.
well,
He
you know
went
what?
from
I tell
selling
you what.
cassettes for $5. Now he's in six figures.
And you
Cassettes
know
for
what I was
$5.
going to do?
Go
You
ahead,
know what's
Bob.
funny? You know what's
Mhm.
funny? I was going to
Yes.
tell them, like, I have this stuff around me so that when I'm
Mhm.
teaching, you can
Yeah.
actually see the date. What's the date, the year on that?
2008.
Okay, this is called From Employee to CEO.
Look at that.
I've been doing this kind of stuff for this is how to start and succeed in your own business. I
Uh-huh.
got posters and stuff all around. And guess what? It still inspires me. And I
Yes.
look back and the people that used to be employees that are now entrepreneurs. The people that were sitting on the sideline with their message are now on the stage.
Yes.
I sleep well at night because of that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's why when you ask me to come on, it's like, man, whatever I can do to support your vision,
Yes.
because you took the initial step of faith. This is what people don't know.
Right.
God's going to send the people. But man, you can't wait until things come together. You got to get in motion. It's called the corridor principle. Check this out.
Yeah.
If you ever seen a truck going down the highway and it's going at 70 miles an hour, I'm talking about one of those big 18 wheelers. And when it goes by, man, it actually creates a current. If there's paper and stuff, it picks it up and stuff starts following it because of the momentum. It's the same way when you start moving. You create a momentum.
Yes.
People will start following. Next thing you look back, man, I got so many members. Remember that collage I got so many members. And now they're coming from all around the country. I don't even know how many we have. All I know is that every member of Circle of Champions, there are no second-class champions. We have VIPs, we have silver, we have gold, we have platinum, we have diamond, and all of them are important to me. And man, thank you for being at the platinum level private circle, which is really, for those of you that might not know, this dude is at the top, and he came in quick. You know what I saw about him? He said, "Y'all ain't leaving me." He said, he said, "There's some people in here that are hungry." And that's where I want to be. So thank you for having me on. And if, I got 2 more minutes. If there's anything you want to say, anything you want me to say, I'll do that.
Well, Bob, I thank you for coming on. Again, when we get off, you can send me your information so I can put it on the tail end as a trailer so people can get in contact with you at the end of the podcast. I truly appreciate you because you are a big help and a blessing to me. But the most important thing for me is that we're both Christians doing the way God says do it. And that's the most important thing. We can't leave out the most important ingredient, which is God. And I thank you for motivating me because, Bob, can I say this?
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine when I was a kid. I used to say, that's my car, that's my car, that's my car, that's my house, that's my house. Now that I'm an adult, I no longer want to say, that's my car, that's my car, that's my car, that's my house. I want to go get my car. I want to go get my house. Guess what I just did last week, Bob?
What's that?
I went and got me a brand new car.
Oh,
so guess what my next move is, Bob? I'm going to get my house.
See,
because I'm tired of talking about getting it. Let's go get it.
There you go, bro. And I'm gonna tell you, man. During a time of my life when I did sit down and kind of got very specific on what I wanted and felt like God had for me, the more specific you are about those things and you get a vision of it, man, that how it's going to happen is none of your business. Because sometimes the way you think, I tried to buy the wrong house 3 times because God had a bigger house for me. The doors kept closing. I'm banging on that door. Okay, that one closed. This one closed. Because God said, I got something bigger and better for you. Well, God is just me and my wife right now. You don't really need that. Oh, yeah, you're going to need it. Because one day you're going to need to put a business in the basement.
Right. Well, my friend just texted me. My friend just texted me, so you didn't tell me you got a new car. I'm looking at you. Well, some things you just tell you it's better off seen than not said. So if I wanted to show you the car, Mr. Moore, I'd have showed it to you, but in due time we will. But Bob, I want to thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I will contact you after we get off, and we'll talk some more. But I know you have to do what you got to do.
I got a 5 o'clock, and then I'm after 5:30 or 5:45. I'm good, man. Reach out to me, and look. Thank you all for being a part, for watching. Go get some free videos over at Circle of Champions and over at COC University. And I hope we can come back and do it again, man, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to pour into your people, and I want you to pour into mine.
Well,
my people are your people. Your people are my people.
Your people, my people, my people, your people. We're going to do it. Hey, Bob, but before you go, we always sign off with this is my trademark. We always go,
oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Do I got to go in my deep voice? Hold on. What do you say? Yeah? Yeah. You crazy, dude. I love you, though, man. That's what I love about you, brother.
All right. Thank you for coming. Man.
That was Bob Yates. Y'all have a blessed one. And I'm gonna log out, and I will talk to you shortly, my friend.
God bless everybody. Thank you.
Hey, look. Dare to live your dreams.
Dare to live your dreams. You guys heard it first. Dare to live your dreams. That was the founder of Circle of Champions, who is making over 6 figures. You heard me correctly. Over 6 figures. Bob Yates, Circle of Champions. Our next week's guest is going to be awesome show. Alexis Burgess. One Love, one-way transportation. Yes, you heard me right. One Love, one-way transportation. Alexis Burgess. She will be on next week. You don't want to miss that fantastic show. She's going to be our special guest. Look forward to seeing the flyers on that. If you want to get in contact with Bob Yates, you can go on his Facebook page, Bob Yates. If you want to find out about Circle of Champions, go on circleofchampions.com and you will see everything there. Again, guys, remember, from a humble beginning to the top, that can be you. This man went from being a vendor in the DC area, never worked for anybody, created his own business. That can be you. Don't be afraid to dream, but make your dreams become a reality. You can do it. Put in the work. Look up circleofchampions.com. Bob Yates, I thank you guys for coming on and listening to the show today. I'm your host, Wayman Daniels of Level Up. Have a great day and be encouraged.